Testing.
Five,
3, 2,
12,
1.
97.
Action.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, genders of all ages.
Yes.
Welcome to Disney Channel Original Noobies. I'm Joanna.
And I am Sam, as usual.
And today we're celebrating the wonderful and very exciting episode 23.
We're breaking off another 30 movies. We did the first 10. We did the second 10.
And now a third 10.
Now we're on a third 10.
Yeah.
Do you know what we should do to celebrate?
I don't know what.
Let's bust open some beers.
Let's do it.
Well, I have a beer. You have a cherry Dr. Pepper, but, whatever.
That's a lie.
All right, you ready?
You and your light beer.
1, 2, 3.
Cheers. Oh, wow. Way to drink before we cheers, Sam.
I don't cheers to people who drink Dr. Pepper.
It's an Einstock toasted porter. This beer is Icelandic, and there's a Viking on it. So, pretty awesome if you ask me.
Did I tell you they actually liked one of our posts?
Yeah, you did.
On Instagram. Maybe they'll like this episode. Who knows?
Hey, Einstock. If you wanna sponsor us, let me know.
Oh man,
I like your beer.
Did we mention the movie yet? We didn't, right?
Oh no, the movie we're talking about today is called The Other Me. By the way, Einstock, if you're listening.
And this is another movie that's come out in 2000, like pretty much every other movie so far.
Yeah, 2000 was a big year. Remind me, was this a movie that you had watched as a young Sam?
Yes, young Sam definitely watched this movie. I don't know if more than one time, and I didn't remember a lot of it, but I remember like the overall premise and kind of like what went down. But I didn't remember the ending or like some of the minor details at all.
Okay, I mean, I feel like
as it's been 21 years since I've watched it, probably
basically nothing.
Yeah,
no time at all.
No big deal.
I feel like with a title like The Other Me and just looking at the movie poster, you can figure out what it's about.
Oh yeah, 100%. Which you you guessed it last episode.
Yeah,
because you even said it was a clone.
I did.
Yeah.
Go me.
You didn't even like say, oh, it's probably his twin or like, anything like that. You're like, nope, clone.
Yep. Clone or magic.
Magic, right,
yeah.
Right. That was the other thing.
Which is still a clone, just a magic clone instead of a science clone.
That's a really good point.
Thank you.
Is it called cloning when it's magic?
Let me get back to you on that.
So, I don't 100% remember. Oh, we'll go over a general premise. So this is this kid, Will, who's played by fan favorite.
And by fan favorite, Sam favorite.
That's what I meant, Sam favorite. Yeah. Andrew Lawrence, who was in Horse Sense and is in, I don't know if he's in any future DComs we'll go over, but
I don't know either.
He's a big Disney guy. And like you said before, he's not doing well in school. And he's trying to do a science project, and there's a funny, zany mix-up, and he ends up cloning himself. And then the clone of himself is very smart and learns very quickly, and like does everything that he doesn't want to do, basically.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, and also, so Andrew Lawrence's character's name is Will, and he loves using yo-yos.
Which really only happens in the opening scene, and I think one other scene when he's teaching his clone.
Definitely another scene. No, a third scene that you're forgetting.
Oh, was that the very end? I don't remember. I don't remember. It didn't stand out.
It's an infamous scene.
I blocked it out. Yeah, that's pretty much it. There were some things that stood out to me throughout the movie.
Like what?
Well, first I do have to point out that Disney Channel original movies love Report Card Day.
Oh my God. It's like, but I guess it's for like 13, 14, 15-year-olds. And it's like, what do they stress about? It's like, oh, grades. And that's it.
Did you have a Report Card Day at school?
So I don't recall exactly. I think they just mailed them to our house.
Yeah, that's what happened with us too.
How many like semesters or whatever did you have?
We had 4 marking periods.
Okay. At some point we had 4. I don't know if that was middle school or high school, but at one point we had 6, which was crazy.
6?
Yeah, it was terrible. You get a new report card every other week, basically.
I think we had 4. Well, I know we had 4 marking periods, but we might have also had progress reports.
Oh, yeah, like halfway through the semesters or whatever.
Something like that.
Yeah. But it wasn't like grades. It was just like, keep up the great work, Sam. You're doing great.
Wow, I guess you always did great.
Wow, I guess your dog was pretty hungry this semester.
Well, I mean, Zoe is always hungry, so yeah.
Zoe's 47 years old.
In human years.
So Will's not a very smart kid. Well, I don't know if he's not smart or if he just doesn't apply himself.
He doesn't apply himself.
But he's also, maybe he is smart. I don't know. It doesn't really get into it, whether or not he actually is.
It does get into it.
How?
Because the clone is smart. And the clone is him. So the clone is like, the only reason I can do these things is because you're capable of these things.
I guess that's possible.
Well, that's what the clone says.
But I don't think that's correct because there's no way he could have read a book in like 15 minutes, the entire science textbook.
You don't know that.
I do. No, I just said that.
You don't know that.
Yeah, I'll say that. All right, so let's get to the beginning. All I have here, the first sentence I wrote is, he's the yo-yo kid.
I wrote yo-yo kid.
I don't know what that means. Besides him just playing with a yo-yo. Oh, he's like, they were
He's walking through the halls,
it's like the generic,
yo-yoing.
It's a generic first thing where it's like, here are the different clicks, and he's the yo-yo kid.
That's his click. Yo-yo kid click.
Did you think, all right, so one thing I didn't really understand, is he cool?
No.
So he's just like a normal kid. He's not like a
I would say
like a nerd or anything.
No, he's probably towards the center of the school ecosystem, but slightly towards nerd or uncool.
So he's like the Joe Biden of students at the school.
Yeah.
He's like kind of near the middle.
Yeah.
Okay.
But slightly left.
But like the really nerdy kids thinks he's super cool.
Right.
And the really super cool kids thinks he's an anarchist.
Correct.
Thinks he's Antifa.
Correct.
He's
the radical yo-yoist.
Oh, man. I just realized now. Well, no, I'll save it for later.
No, now you have to say it now. What if you forget later?
I'm not going to forget. I'll write it down.
Write it down right now. I'm watching you write it down. Okay. All right.
It has been written.
Good. Make sure you keep looking at that page.
Okay. So also in the very beginning, so he's the yo-yo kid, obviously. And there's a girl who has a locker next to him. It's like midway through the year, it seems like. It's not early on.
It's not the first day.
Yeah, it's definitely
certainly
someone into the semester.
I think her name is Heather.
Yeah, Heather asks him to go to the dance. And he's like, no.
Nah.
And so we normally don't discuss anything
during
or even after the movie until the podcast. But I had to bring this up to you. She was like a normal person who like wasn't weird and like was normal looking.
Yeah, there was nothing wrong with her.
No. And he was just like totally turns her down. He has no other prospects or anything going on. He's not busy with anything.
Yeah, and I mean, it's not like he's talking to his friend. He's like, Heather's okay, but I just don't like her that way. He just seems disgusted by her. And I don't understand
bizarre.
why.
And he probably would have gone to the dance anyway because all his friends were going to it.
His one friend. But yes.
But still.
Yeah. I wish that it's okay that he didn't like her, but I wish they had a better explanation for why.
At least give her glasses and braces so it's like she's all that or something.
But then
she was
what
just
if
normal?
And then halfway through the movie, she can get contacts and her braces off.
That's
and
right.
then he wants to go. Yep.
Right. I should have changed
We
my
fixed the movie.
my change the movie thing. I'll change mine. Yeah, so he's not doing well in school. He doesn't apply himself. His sister's very smart, but she's like gothic kind of. I didn't really know her vibe.
So her vibe was dipping your hair in paint, literally.
That's a pretty cool vibe, though. She's
I
like
mean,
aquamarine.
Her hair, it wasn't dyed at the end. It looked like they had actually dipped the tips in paint.
Okay.
And that bothered me the entire movie.
How else do you dye your hair?
With hair dye.
Paint. Same thing. Corporate
No.
wants you to distinguish the differences between these two photos. Paint, hair dye. It's the same thing.
No, it's not, Sam. And you know it. They just dipped her hair in a bucket of acrylic paint.
Do you know what the sister's name was? They must have mentioned it.
Sister?
Alana.
I don't remember. Maybe they said it once.
Huh. Bizarre.
I don't remember that at all.
Whatever. And the issue for, I guess his issue at this time, Will, is that his parents are threatening to send him to summer boot camp unless he does better in school.
Camp Spartacus.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah.
I guess it gotta make sense for a boot camp.
And I made a note that said, I believe this is where 300 was filmed.
At Camp Spartacus.
Yes. This is Camp Spartacus!
It's a very vast desert. So as I mentioned before, he has to do a science project, which he's been putting off for a while. And his idea is to use these things called ocean pups, which
AKA sea monkeys.
Right. And it like cuts to the lab where the
sea monkeys
we'll
call
are
them sea monkeys.
created, I don't know, packaged. And there's two like crazy scientists. Do you remember their name? Victor, I think, is one of them.
Oh, I just kept writing down scientists. I don't remember their names at all.
Whatever. We'll call them the scientists because they're not distinguishable from one another. I mean, they look different, but they're the same person basically in this movie. And they are able to hyper clone a mouse. Like hyper clone just means like clone quickly, I guess.
That's what I would guess because they did clone it very quickly.
So we don't have to get really into it, but like the cat and mouse like chase each other. One of the experiments like leaks into the Ocean Pups kit, and the kid eventually gets sent to Will. And this is how it all goes down.
And I would like to point out that they completely disregarded lab safety 101.
Oh yeah, of course.
That lab was a mess.
And also,
it was a recipe for
they
disaster.
didn't have any Bunsen burners. Could you believe it?
They had some beakers.
Oh, they had
test
beakers.
tubes. They didn't clean them properly, and they spilled over.
Of course not. It was like a freak lab. That's where the monkeys were made.
Hey, freak lab or not, lab hygiene is important.
So one thing I don't get. So I mean, we don't have to really get into it. Is that he gets the kit, he stirs it with his comb, which makes his hair go into the
cloning formula.
Give
and
me
then
some raviolis.
It starts boiling violently.
Yeah. And then
there's a light show.
Is it in his bathroom?
Yes.
Yes, it's in the bathroom, and he like closes the door because like there's so many bubbles coming out. He runs out, and then when he eventually opens the door, he sees himself. And I thought the funny thing about him seeing himself is that the clone obviously looks just like him, but's wearing jeans.
Yeah.
That was cool.
I guess jeans are part of Will's DNA.
And then after, that's funny. Get it?
Thank you.
Jean Parmesan?
Yeah.
Yeah,
yep.
I get it.
Thank you.
And he's like, oh, you got to cover yourself up. And he puts a towel over the jeans, which I thought was really funny, too.
Well, I think at first he puts it on his head.
Right, but he was wearing jeans.
Yeah.
So who cares?
And he was like, yeah, the clone is like, I am covered up.
No, I think it was just a fuck up in how they made the movie. Like, I don't think he should have been wearing jeans.
Well, he shouldn't have been, but it's a children's movie, Sam.
Yeah, and so the clone's there, and the clone, like, doesn't know what anything is, can't really talk at first, but quickly, like, catches on things and learns things very, very quickly.
Right. And Will quickly finds out that the clone is super smart, as we said before, and that's when he has a brilliant idea to send the clone to school.
Yes. And at the same time, the scientists figure out, Will calls the science place. It's like, hey, my sea monkeys are weird. And then she tells the receptionist tells the scientist. And the scientist is like, oh shit, we got to find this Will person. So their mission now is to find the clone and dispose of him. The thing I didn't get about that is, why do they give a shit about what happens with the clone? Like, you don't need to, trademark cloning. Like, they could just pretend it, whatever. Who cares?
They didn't know who would find out about the clone, and they hadn't trademarked or patented their formula in any way, so they didn't want someone to steal it.
Yeah, but, just do it now. Just patent it now. Will doesn't know what the fuck's going on.
Well, they don't know that Will doesn't know what the fuck is going on.
But it's being sent to a random person. Just trademark it now. Just do it now.
Yeah. I don't know. How long does it take to trademark something?
I don't know, 47 years?
It takes 47 years to trademark.
Yeah.
No wonder they wanted to get the formula.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't put two and two together. Now I get it.
Come on,
now
Sam.
I understand. Oh,
Come on.
Now I get it. There's also a telepathic connection between Will and the clone.
Of course, naturally.
Which makes sense. Oh, and also the clone has a name.
I forgot what his name is.
Tui.
Oh, right.
Did you write down Tui at all?
No, I think I just wrote clone every time.
Oh, that's funny. I was trying to guess how Tui was written, and I wrote it 4 different ways.
Oh, no. At this point, I wrote other Will.
Oh, that's funny. That's a good way of putting it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the other guy.
So Tui's such a... Obviously, it's two, whatever. So there was a girl in college with the last name Tui who... I don't know why it was. I had a friend named Andrew who was my roommate in college. And for some reason, she always called him Stanley. I have no idea why. I asked him recently, actually, and he has no idea either.
I wonder if she just thought that was his name.
No, because we would constantly, or he would constantly tell her that's not his name. And she knew his name for sure. There's Facebook.
That's very strange.
I'll to this day, I'll never understand that. But whenever I heard the Tui, that's all I could think of is him being called Stanley.
Hey, Tui, if you're listening, can you please write to us and tell us why you called Andrew Stanley? Thank you.
Appreciate it. Yeah, so there's a telepathic connection between them. The clone's basically a genius. And like you said, Will wants Tui to take his place going to school.
Which makes perfect sense.
Right. And then at the same time, the scientists go to his house and they're kind of surveilling to see what exactly, because they don't know what was cloned. They think it might be a pet. They think it might be, whatever, a goldfish.
At this point, they don't even realize that the cloning works on humans.
Right.
They seem surprised.
Yep. They don't know. They know nothing.
Well, when they figure out that Will has cloned himself, that's when they seem surprised.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. At this point, they still think it's a dog or something.
Yep. I think it's the next day. Oh, we didn't really talk about the parents at all.
No, he has 2 parents. They seem to love each other. They're fine.
Not much to it.
Yeah. They are really proud of his sister for doing well in school. They're a little disappointed in Will for not doing well in school. Kind of standard.
Do you know the parents' names?
Mom and Dad.
Oh, I think the mom's name was Yo-Yo Ma.
How long have you been waiting to say that?
That's what I wrote down before. I was looking at the margin. I was like, you know what? I gotta say that sometime because I don't think I talk about the parents at all in this entire.
Oh man. Oh Sam.
Can't waste something like that. Come on. Something that we all have in common with Tui is that he loves pizza.
Yes, that was the most relatable part of this movie.
Do you think he's gonna be in the newest Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movie?
I hope so.
Because they're kind of like clones, sort of.
They're mutated.
Right. And he's kind of a mutated version of Will.
I wouldn't say he's mutated.
I would say that.
I wouldn't.
So let's say, here, I got a question for you. So if
12.
That doesn't make any sense. So let's say there's like not time travel, but like would like appearing in one place versus another. What was that? What's that called? Like being transported somewhere quickly.
Yeah, teleported.
Teleported. Okay. I don't know why I said that. So when you're being teleported, let's say all your particles just like go away and then new particles end up in another place like 5 minutes later. Do you think that's actually you or is that a new person altogether? Like A gets teleported and then B shows up 100 miles away.
I think that's you.
You think it's you?
Yeah. No, I think it's you.
Me personally?
Yeah.
You teleported and turned into me?
Yes.
That's pretty cool.
No, I think it's the same person.
Let's say, for example, there's a 10-minute delay when you teleport. So for 10 minutes, you're not in existence. Is it still you in that new place?
Yeah, but you're a little groggy when you get there.
Like a little person named Groggy?
Hi, I'm Groggy.
Oh my god, that'd be so cool. Someone named their child Groggy. Say, oh, sorry, he's a little groggy. I think I'm more proud of that than Yo-Yo Ma.
I don't know. You're very proud of Yo-Yo Ma.
All right. Oh, okay. So let's get to brass tacks here. So Tui goes to school for the first time.
But first he watches a music video, and that's important to mention.
Yeah, very important. So the first day Tui stays at home, Will goes to school, and Tui like watches TV for a while, wanders off to the park, catches frisbees with his mouth. Normal stuff. Normal teenager stuff.
Yeah.
And the second day Tui goes to school. And Tui gets pizza, which he loves.
Yeah, I had no issues with that scene.
Loves pizza.
I also love pizza a lot.
And what else happens in that cafeteria that first day?
They have an epic dance party.
Yeah.
And there are so many questions running through my mind during this scene, and I wrote them all down.
Quick fire, go.
Okay. Why did that kid have a boombox?
No idea. He also didn't even push any buttons on it.
Why did he start it without a button?
It was great. It was like telepathic with maybe that's his clone.
Why isn't a teacher stopping them from dancing on a table?
100% agree. Do you think teachers would stop if they all just started dancing in general, not on the tables?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I do. And I think they would stop them before the entire cafeteria broke out in dance.
If you're in high school and like you're at lunch and 75% of people in the cafeteria start dancing, would you start dancing also?
In high school?
Yeah.
No. Now, yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. It was so bizarre. You'd be his friend. You'd be Will's friend who didn't dance.
Yeah.
I don't think he
Pretty
did,
much.
right? No.
I don't think so.
We didn't even mention his friend. I don't know his name. Do you remember his name?
I don't know. Will's friend. That's his name. Something with an L? Leroy? Leon? I don't know. Luke Skywalker?
The only other names I have here are Chucky.
Oh, yeah, that's his name. He's Chucky.
Chucky Leon.
Yeah.
Yeah. His last name was Leon.
Yes.
Yeah.
Chucky Leon.
So Chucky's like, what's going on here?
Pretty much.
Because the thing is, like, Will's not,
He's not that guy.
No.
He's not the breakout
and he starts
dance
dancing,
guy.
and people are like, what? What is going on here? And also, like, he's dancing with, like, Heather on the table, right?
After the day before, he was like, ugh, Heather.
Yucky.
She has cooties.
Icky. Yeah, so they're all dancing. And also, so we mentioned before that he's watching a music video. So the only dance he knows is that's from this music video. And, like, no one seems to know this dance. So I don't know where. It seems like a popular music video he's watching on, like, MTV or something.
Oh, I got the sense that they knew the dance because was it this scene? I think it was this scene where everyone was doing the same dance.
Well, everyone was doing it because he taught that one person to do it on the table. And then it's like those stupid things, like where like someone just teaches one person and then everyone starts doing the same dance.
I thought that was the last scene where he teaches the one person to do it.
I think it's both.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh. I don't know.
I
don't know.
It's movie magic.
Poof.
Yeah, so they're all dancing. He dances with Heather, and then she asks him to the dance, and he's like, "Is there gonna be pizza there?" And she's like, oh, I'll show you a pizza.
He's like, great, I love pizza.
And he agrees to go to the dance with her.
Which, I mean, if people offered me a whole pizza, then I'd probably have dated more people.
You know what? He did get in trouble. He went to the dean's office.
Yeah, but that was at the end of the dance.
Right.
Like, they didn't stop him as soon as he got up on the table, which is what would really happen.
I guess.
They'd have been like, Will, get off the table. Go to the principal. What are you doing?
That's exactly how they would say it in my school.
You, boombox kid, you go to the principal too.
You didn't even push the button. What's he?
Doesn't matter. You shouldn't have a boombox
Yeah,
in school.
I guess.
That should go in your locker.
That kid was cool.
He was. I mean, if you can start a boombox without hitting any buttons, you're automatically cool.
Yeah. Oh, and also while waiting for the dean or principal, whatever, Tui talks to a kid who's like Will's bully, who like he wronged a long time in the past, and he like has a heart to heart with him and like totally smooths things over in like less than a minute.
Yeah, now they're best friends.
Legit, like
I mean,
super tight.
Well, I mean, Tui didn't lie, but the reason that they kind of connect is because the kid, the bully, is like, yeah, I don't really have a dad, blah, blah, blah. And then Tui's like, yeah, I don't have parents either. Which is true. He doesn't have parents.
And we also talked about this. It would be really funny if he went to the house later.
And the dad opened the door.
Who the fuck is that guy? It's your dad? What, you lied to me? It made things so much worse, but unfortunately.
I mean, he's going to figure it out at some point because now they're best friends.
Yeah, that's true.
It's going to be a rough conversation. And
so he gets home either that day or sometime later, I forget, and Heather calls. Does Tui talk to Heather? No,
I think Will does.
Right. And Will says he's been avoiding her for 6 years, which is crazy.
That's most of his life.
Yeah, what is he, 13?
Yeah, so the entire time that he's been in school, he's been avoiding her.
Unbelievable. Fucking
Since
Will.
kindergarten.
What is wrong with him?
Man, he needs to grow up.
Oh. And his sister is like, whoa, that was awesome. You got to teach me more dances. And like, so him and his sister like just like bully each other basically. Or she bullies him, or they don't like each other. But she was like psyched to learn this dance. And Will's like, I don't know what you're talking about, but yep, 100%. Sure, why not?
They're like best friends now. His sister thinks that he's cool. One dance has done wonders for Will's reputation.
Yeah. And so the scientists are there. I wrote this down. I think it's wrong. There's a 3-day lifespan on the clones.
I feel like maybe it was 2 weeks.
3 weeks.
And
like
maybe
that.
at some point there's 3 days left.
Maybe that's what it was. Because, yeah, he had to be in the school for longer than a couple days. That makes sense. Maybe it was 3 weeks. That sounds about right. Yeah,
because there's that montage of Will playing video games and
getting bored.
Although that could happen in 3 days.
I think that would happen to me 4 years in, maybe.
Well, I mean, it's been just over a year for COVID, so how you feeling?
Well, I still go to work and stuff.
That is true.
This is my favorite part of the movie. It's not my favorite scene, which we'll get to later. But this is when the scientists are outside and Will is noticing that these scientists are like parked outside. So they have these binoculars. So Will has one eye in one binocular and Tui has one eye in the other. And they're each holding one side. Oh, and also we should go over this. He's playing both characters, the actor. Andrew Lawrence is playing Will and Tui. So it's just they filmed it separately, whatever. So like he does a pretty good job, I gotta say.
Yeah, I think he...
Like, it doesn't look like it's different two different people.
Yeah.
But whatever. So each of them are holding one binocular. And, like, their arms are underneath the window. You can see, like, the top of the wrist, basically. And so Will, like, puts his arm down normally because it's actually him. But they couldn't have Tui's arm there because he's not a real person. So a different arm just comes out of nowhere. And like falls down, which clearly didn't belong to Tui.
It's at a very strange angle that's not possible in the human body. And we actually rewound it and watched it again.
Yeah, because I saw it. I was dying. You're like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
I was like, you gotta rewind it, Joanna. You gotta watch this. Oh
Best
man,
part.
It was so funny. I was crying laughing at that. And as you mentioned before, so Will gets bored, like not going to school anymore. Tui comes back from school one day. He's like, I'm going to the arcade. Will's like, no, I'm going to your place. And there's issues between them. And this is when the scientists finally see there's a Will and a Tui. So it's like, they cloned the kid?
Was the montage with the ice cream truck before or after they realized that Will
I think before.
clothed himself? Will, okay, because that was a strange montage.
I didn't even. I brushed it out of my mind immediately. I was like, I do not care for this whatsoever.
Can't get it out of my mind.
They're like handing like out of ice cream out of their hands to like children. It was weird.
It was an unfortunate montage. A montage of unfortunate events.
Yes. Oh, and so the scientists are basically the bandits from Home Alone, is what they remind me of.
Correct.
Were they what bandits? I keep thinking Bad News Bandits, but it's 100% not that.
The Wet Bandits.
Oh, yes. There we go. Yeah, so just remind me of the Wet Bandits from Home Alone. So I can think about just one tall guy, one shorter guy.
And
absolutely
a scene
wrecked.
at the end, yeah. Lots of traps.
Just straight up should be dying, but whatever. This part was sad. So at this point, so his grades are he's doing really well in school, obviously, because Tui's doing everything for him. And he tells his parents and his sister's getting along with him. I mean, there's a girl that
likes him.
His friends love him. He's very popular in school now. Everything's coming out well for him. Everything's coming up Millhouse right now. And his parents are like, no more summer boot camp. You're doing so well. We're so proud of you. And like just heaping praise on him, on Will. And Will's like, shit. Like,
but it's sucks. Not me. It's Tui.
Like, he's obviously thrilled that he's going to go to summer boot camp. But like his parents just like seem like they love.
Yeah, they love him more.
Yeah, exactly. But although they do say they love him no matter what, even if he does poorly in school.
Which, I mean,
like
they kind of have to say they're his parents.
Which is probably, they're probably bullshitting, right?
Yeah, I would say so. If it was me.
So Will finally decides, hey, I'm going to go to school instead of Tui. So he goes to school and he's like learning things on the fly because like Tui is like, oh, I got this, Tui, don't worry about it.
Tui's like, some things have changed. You might want to sit down for a minute and take some notes. And Will's like,
shut up, I got this. So like
it's my school.
He's popular. Teachers love him. He's always like giving things away to people or like helping people out and helping teachers out. And it's just totally different.
Bully is his best friend.
Yeah, exactly. He loves asparagus.
Almost as much as pizza. Oh, he loves asparagus pizza.
It's close. Will gets mad at Tui because everyone likes him more. Likes Tui more. Which is like, I guess it's just like teenage angst or whatever, but not really Tui's fault, gotta say.
Not his fault, but I kind of get it. He's feeling down about himself because it's like, what am I doing wrong?
But it's misdirected anger is what I would say.
It is misdirected anger. He's having some feelings.
Yeah. And this like totally reminded me of Stepsister from Planet Weird, where like
the
she's
weird
normal
person is supposed to be weird, but
right,
she ends up being cool.
Them. Exactly. Yep. And they're totally oblivious. And yeah, that's great. So after this conversation, Tui's like, you know what? I'm going to leave tomorrow and I'll be gone.
Go to New York City where everything is black and white.
Yep. Like the movies.
Yep.
And he's like, but you know what? I'll go to the dance. And that'll be my last thing. Then I'm off.
Well, first, Tui's like, no, Will, you should go to the dance. And Will's like, no, you should go to the dance.
Right, this is last hurrah.
Tui's like, yeah, I should go to the dance.
He's like, yeah, I said yes to the girl.
You're right.
What was the dance at Sadie Hawkins? Was that the when the girl asked the guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think this was a Sadie Hawkins dance. Heather was just like, she was bold.
Yeah.
Go, Heather. Good for you. You go, girl.
Glen Coco.
You go, Glen Coco.
Which movie was he in?
Was he the 13th year? Maybe?
I don't remember.
I don't remember either. He was in...
It's so funny.
Something.
Yeah, it's great. Tui gets all dressed up for the dance. He's wearing like a tux. And the scientists start chasing after... Will, thinking that he is the clone.
Yeah, because they were like, why would the clone go to the dance? That's just weird.
Right. Oh, and their theory before this was that they could kidnap a clone, because that's not kidnapping.
It's clone napping, and there are no laws against clone napping.
That's right. There's no rules that says a dog can't play basketball. So they took that to heart, and they...
And I mean, to be fair, the clone is supposed to die soon, so...
Right.
It's not
He's got like a day. It was like that day, right? It was his last day? Yeah.
So, I kind of get where their head's at.
Oh, for sure. But also just let them dissipate. Like, who cares at that point?
They wanted to run some tests, Sam.
I guess. They could just clone, one of the scientists and get it over with.
They don't need that kind of trauma in their life.
Yeah, I guess so. So Tui goes to the dance, and his dreams have been realized when Heather gets there with a beautiful pizza.
All for him, and he only eats like a bite.
Yeah, and then gives it to some other guy that's there.
Yeah.
Oh, he gives it to a guy, and the guy looks in the box and is like, "Oh, there's actually pizza in here." And they start eating, him and his date start eating it. Oh, that's great. Imagine if you get a date, someone just gives you and your date a pizza. Like, that's fantastic.
Best dance ever.
My God, absolutely. And also the scientists at this point. So the audience doesn't know. They think the clone's done after like the 3 weeks, and that's it. But then they say, "Hey, we have this like formula, this like liquid glob stuff that makes it permanent."
Why? Why do they have that? Oh, okay. You're right.
You forgot
they
that
are
part.
scientists.
You forgot that part.
Yeah.
So I guess, Heather brought him the pizza, and then no one's dancing until Tui gets there. And then Tui and Heather start doing some cool
cutting
dance,
a rug.
and then everyone starts dancing.
Because if Tui dances, then it's the cool thing to do.
They're like, me Tui. So just like the lunchroom scene, everyone's dancing. Will goes to the dance, and he knows the scientists are after Tui.
Right.
He also escapes from the scientists. Will.
Yes, and he goes to dance to warn Tui, and that's when Chucky is like, "Did you change your clothes?" And he's like, "Nah, I have a clone."
And Chucky buys in. He's like, "Oh, I believe you 100%. 100% bro.
Maybe like 98%.
Bro, I got your fucking back, bro."
Maybe like 98%.
He's like that.
Until he sees the clone, and then he's in 100%.
Yeah, that's true. But he bought in a lot. Like, he leaves his own dance to go.
He was like, "You might be going crazy, but I'm still here for you."
Chucky's a great friend.
Yeah.
Gotta say.
Chucky's a great friend.
Yeah.
All of these Disney Channel
great
movies,
friends.
Yeah,
Oof.
Great friends.
Yeah. I'm trying to think what happens here. So he's looking for Tui. Oh, so when they're dancing, at this point, Heather gives Tui a kiss on the cheek before Tui leaves to go to the bathroom.
Yes.
Then Will takes Tui's place, and then he teaches everyone
the yo-yo dance.
Here's the third yo-yo time.
Forgot. Yep.
Teaches everyone the yo-yo dance, and everyone loves the yo-yo dance.
Of course.
It's like their favorite dance so far.
Well, yeah.
And this is when some smooching happens.
First kiss. Ooh.
When Heather kisses Will.
Adorable.
But shortly thereafter, the scientists capture Will.
Less adorable.
A little bit.
So then they go to like an abandoned garage. It's basically Home Alone.
Was it the same place as the lab? It's a totally different place, right? I couldn't tell.
I mean, I think the set was the same, but it's supposed to be a different place.
Because they both look like shitholes, but I couldn't tell if it was like...
Yeah, they're just different shitholes.
The same shithole, yeah.
I got the sense that the lab was in a different part of the country.
Oh, right. Because they traveled to go.
Right.
That makes sense. Okay. They had some exotic sea monkeys that they import in. So they get Will, and then he's like, "Hey, I'm actually Will. I'm not, the clone."
And they're like, "That's what a clone would say."
Which is true.
Yeah.
They're not wrong. But somehow he convinces them to set out. Well, doesn't convince them, but they're like, "You know what? Let's get the other one.
Just to make sure.
Be safe." So they set out to get Tui also. And then Tui appears in the garage while they're looking for him.
Because he used his clone telepathy.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to say telepathy, which is how it's spelled, but sounds stupid. And so Tui gets there. He unties him. And unfortunately, the scientists come back.
Because they ran out of gas or something?
Something stupid.
Something stupid.
Who knows? And they run through the garage. I see that both of them are there, or at least one of them is there. And they corner Tui. But Tui and Will mailbox the guy. You know what mailboxing is?
No.
It's when someone gets on their hands and knees behind someone's legs.
Oh, and then push them
pushes.
over.
Yeah.
This
You
was
the
home.
What would you call that?
Tripping someone.
Fair. Okay. Asked and answered.
Which I think makes a lot more sense than mailboxing. Anyway, we'll move on from there. We'll move on from there.
It's more specific.
But this was just Home Alone.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of shenanigans. Yeah. Some guy falls into like this
oil pit.
Yeah. Dude, that must have
sucked.
It was like cement. Like, oh my god.
How's he still alive?
He shouldn't have been. Gotta say.
Like Home Alone.
Maybe they'll make a new Dove commercial where they wipe the oil off of him. They eventually get Tui alone. Chucky also comes. And Scotty. Scotty comes also. Scotty's the friend.
Scotty's the bully.
Scotty doesn't know.
Scotty doesn't know that Fiona. Yeah.
Other people.
Scotty doesn't.
So Chucky and Scotty both come there and they stop the bad guys. They shove both of them into a trunk or one of them into a trunk. I don't know.
One of them into a trunk and one of them is like on a forklift or something.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
He's like stuck on, right. Yep, that's right. The cops eventually come. They arrest the scientists, and Tui and Will are like, oh no, what should we say about Tui? Because the scientists are like, oh, he's a clone, blah, 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 blah. Oh, and his parents get there at the same time, too.
Of course.
Yeah.
And they're like, you know what's a really good story to tell people who don't know us and have never seen us before and will likely never see us again?
Identical cousins.
Yes. That's the best, most logical story we could tell.
Yep. And the cops are like, you know what? That 100% makes sense.
No questions asked.
I believe
Have a good day.
Don't even need to say identification. This all checks out.
Yep. Have a good day, sir. Sirs.
Oh, and also the parents see that there's two of them for the first time.
Yeah. And they're like, yeah, we'll go along with this. Identical cousins.
Totally fine. We'll pretend he's a cousin, and we'll call him Gil. Where did Gil come from?
Rhymes with Will.
Dude, I thought he was a fish.
Well, they don't want to tell the
cops
that.
He's a sea monkey. Oh, he's a sea critter, and he has gills.
Mm-hmm.
Now that makes sense. And now we get to another best part of the movie. They're deciding what to have for dinner. You know what? Let's get some pizza for dinner.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, the mom's a bad cook. The yo-yo mom's a terrible cook.
She's a health food freak, but even
I,
yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize
even I
that.
would not eat those foods.
Oh, we didn't talk about the scene with. I mean, it's so stupid with the mom
parents.
and the dad, and they're like switching places.
Yeah.
It was done well. Like it's good choreography for that, but it was just stupid and wasn't worth it because the dad wants to eat potato chips and something stupid. But yeah, it was definitely not worth getting to that one.
Anything else about the movie before we move on to questions?
So I have some facts about the movie. You want to do questions first, or you want to go over those things?
Let's go over things.
Okay, just about like the actors and stuff like that.
I want to start off by saying that I would watch this movie again because I noticed at some point that they made a lot of references to other movies. The only two I wrote down was a Star Wars reference from Gold Leader and a Casablanca reference at the end when they say this is the start of a beautiful friendship.
Yes, that's fair.
So
there was also a comic book, something about, it wasn't Iron Man, it was some other like Marvel something comic book they talked about at one point. Or he's reading a comic book.
He's reading a comic book. I don't remember which comic.
Me either.
So I would watch this movie again to go back and get all the references. But I wouldn't watch it again for entertainment. Anyway, moving on.
Well, we'll talk about it. So did you like the movie?
It was okay. I think if I were a kid, I would have liked it a lot more, which makes sense because it's a kid's movie.
And that's every movie so far except for Horse Sense.
Yeah.
I liked more as a kid. It was fun though. It was like a quick, fun movie. Like,
it was fine.
Went by pretty quickly. The dance scenes were pretty funny, I thought. Like, it was ridiculous, but I thought it was pretty funny.
It was ridiculous.
Pretty straightforward premise.
It was okay.
No bubble people.
No bubble people. That was a big plus.
Yeah.
Any movie without bubble people, I am on board from now on.
I liked this movie. I was totally fine with it. I think some things I think it was silly. I think it was funny. I think that, I mean, it was obviously ridiculous, but no real, issues with it. I liked it.
All right. Cool.
Yeah. Right on.
Could have had a better montage, though. Just saying.
Were there any montages?
Yeah, the ice cream
Oh, that
fries
was
and
just stupid.
surveillance montage.
Yeah.
Yeah. Montage game, not strong in this
not
movie.
At all. Was there any no overhearing conversations with parents either that I recall?
No, that's true.
Because there were no money issues, really. Although they have another kid now, so.
Yeah, that's soon to change.
Yeah. All right, so let's get into our questions then. I'll start. Who you shipping?
That would be Tui and Scotty.
Tui? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I actually wrote that down while we were watching the movie.
Because they're besties.
Yeah, and they had that beautiful moment.
And they don't have dads.
They have a connection.
That's a good one.
Yeah, they definitely had the most chemistry in this movie. More than Will and Heather.
Even more than the scientists?
Yeah. Yes, even more than the scientists.
I mean, they did a lot of experiments and stuff.
They did, so it's really saying something.
Yeah.
That Tui and Scotty have more chemistry.
Do you want to know who I shipped?
Who?
The scientists.
Is it because of their chemistry?
I wish I thought of that beforehand. Well, they got along well together. They lived in the van together for 3 weeks.
I feel like they weren't really okay with it. They didn't seem to be
what are you
really
talking
thrilled about their situation.
They were not thrilled because they just might lose out on an amazing invention. Not because of each other.
I don't know. I feel like they weren't.
What are you talking about?
They weren't happy. I don't know. Maybe they're on the tail end of their relationship.
What? I mean, no. Next question.
Fine. What was your favorite scene?
I think there's only one scene for this.
I think you're right.
The lunch dance scene.
Oh, yes. And I wrote dance scene, duh. And then I specified cafeteria.
Oh, yeah.
Because there is also
it's better than the dance
yeah.
one. Yeah, I agree with that.
And mostly the kid with the boombox.
Oh, he was great.
Yeah.
Did he? Oh, he danced too. Yeah. I think he got involved. I don't really 100% remember, but I'm pretty sure he did.
Even if he wasn't dancing, he was DJing, which is...
Oh, no hands DJing.
A really important role.
What would you change about this movie, if anything?
I have to say that messy lab bothered me for most of the movie.
Oh my god. It makes sense because they're messy people.
But
they have a messy relationship.
Yeah, that's true. But this is just lab 101. All I did was high school science, and I know that you thoroughly clean the lab and wear your protective gear. And if they had just cleaned up after themselves, then all of their problems would have been avoided.
Oh, 100%. And also that cat fucked things up for them.
Yeah, they should have made sure that everything was secure, including the animal cages.
Yes.
Also, why was the cat in a fish tank? That was a question I had.
Tank?
Yeah, the cat was in a fish tank.
That's kind of weird.
So yeah, just the lab scene, the lack of order and cleanliness bothered me.
Okay, that's fair. I wanted to see more of Tui at school. And less focusing on Will at home being
playing
bored.
Video games.
Yeah. Just show more Tui. More Tui. That's it.
So you're his parents and you like Tui more.
I'm his parents?
Yeah, how his parents like Tui more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm Yo-Yo Ma and Yo-Yo Da. And the last one.
What would you change?
We just did that one.
Oh, right. Who would you hang out with?
A character we haven't even talked about yet.
Really?
The grandpa.
I forgot about the grandpa.
Also,
who Tui cured?
The grandpa likes Tui and doesn't care at all about anyone else in the family. And finally, the grandpa...
And is not ashamed of it.
He did cure him. That's really... I just realized that. Because he was at the dinner with the pizza, right?
Yeah. And all Tui did was talk to him?
Yeah, looked him in the eyes. Yeah.
No one thought to look at Grandpa?
No. It's too hard. He's like Medusa.
Tui is immune.
Yeah. He can't turn to stone. All right. And let's do our hot seat. You can go first.
The obvious question. What would you do if you had a clone?
I would make my clone go to work for me. And I would reap the benefits of it.
But what would you do while your clone was at work?
Oh, man, that's a tough one. I would... Oh, man. I'd probably run more often. Probably go to the gym more often. I would... What else would I do? I don't know. Other hobbies and interests? Travel more? By myself, because you'd still be working.
Boo.
What would you do besides just what you normally do in your free time?
Well, that's what I would do, just more of it. So like you said, run more.
Maybe I'd get
Go to
another
the gym
job.
more. I don't think I would get another job. I think I would like work in the garden more.
So you wouldn't work at all?
I said I would work in the garden.
You wouldn't make any more income? Is that a better way to phrase it?
No, because I have the clone's income and your income. And I would be
Wait, I
spending
have
more
a clone
time.
Also? Oh,
Sure.
oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because you said that I still have to go to work and I don't have a clone. You also don't have a clone and have to go to
Oh,
work.
damn it.
And since I'm spending so much more time in the garden, we're growing all our own food. Maybe I'd build a greenhouse.
We got to feed
We're
another
gonna
person, though.
become-
We have another mouth to feed.
Well, that's why we're growing our own food. We're going to be
Okay.
completely sustainable, off the grid. It's going to be great. And I'll put it all together.
So Joanna got a watermelon growing kit today.
Yeah, I did.
And she thought it was pretty cool. Would you just put water on the like dirt and it just grew?
Yeah, it was a dirt patty and the dirt expanded.
So bizarre.
It was great.
I was like, I was gonna pop out of it.
I didn't. I had faith.
Oh, you knew? Oh,
I
that's
had
boring.
Faith.
All right, my question's a lot more serious.
Hold on, let me take a drink first.
It's an ethics question for you. Business ethics.
Schrodinger's cat.
Schrodinger's cats?
Yeah.
Schrodinger?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yes.
Okay.
Nailed it.
All right. So, it's about Tui and Heather.
Okay.
So Heather just kisses him on the cheek during the dance.
Correct.
Let's say they actually kissed, the two of them, Tui and Heather, and not Heather and Will. Would you consider that to be sexual assault on Tui's part? Because she thinks he's Will. Or we'll take out the word sexual assault. Let's say, do you think that'd be inappropriate on Will's part? Or Tui's part, sorry.
Yes and no. Yes, because she does think that Tui is Will. So they are lying to her. Obviously, it's not any malice towards her. They're lying to everyone. So it's not like directed at her specifically. Yeah. But I would say that Will is more in the wrong than Tui because Tui is still new to this world. He's still learning. So he might not be aware that it's wrong at this point. He just knows that this is a girl who likes him and he likes her.
Does he like her?
It seems like he likes her. He dances with her. He's hanging out with her. He's like, yeah, I'll go with the dance with you. Maybe he likes pizza.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
He seems to also enjoy her company.
Okay. That's fair.
So I would say that if he was completely aware of the situation and what it meant, then he would be wrong. But, you know, he's like a baby.
Understood.
He just doesn't know.
He's like underage and yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So, but Will certainly knows that he's lying to everyone and he just has a better grasp of the situation. So I would say Will is more in the wrong than Tui.
Fair. Good points. Good points all around.
And they're going to have to deal with this because now Heather's
She's going to, oh my God.
going to have
I never
an
thought
inkling.
about what's going to happen after, because they're just going to say it's his cousin.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But then his cousin is going to be acting suspiciously like Will has been acting for the past 2 or 3 weeks.
He's going to dance on the tables at school.
Yeah. And Heather's going to be like, Will, weren't you just doing that?
So this is the first movie we've watched so far that I'm like, I know there's not one, but I kind of wish there was a sequel to this.
You want to see the shit show that follows?
Yeah, I just want to see how people react to this.
Identical cousins? What?
But alas. All right, so some stuff about the people involved in this movie. So it's written by Jeff
Goldblum?
You blew it. Jeff Schnechter?
Schrodinger?
I don't know. Who also wrote Brink, the movie, not the book. And it was directed by this guy, Manny Koto, who directed Xenon the Sequel.
Okay.
Which can't come soon enough.
Okay.
The theme music was written by the guy from Devo. And the movie is based on a book by Mary C. Ryan called Me Too. That's literally the same exact premise of this entire movie. Like the sea monkeys and everything.
Well, that makes sense because the movie was based on the book.
Did we mention the sea monkeys are called ocean pups? Because they're called ocean pups. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Great name. Like we mentioned before, Andrew Lawrence is the main guy. He was also in Brotherly Love, which we talked about before, and Horse Sense. The girl who... Oh, his sister is Allison Pill, who's pretty famous. She was in like Scott Pilgrim.
Right.
And a bunch of other movies.
And I think some paint commercials too.
Yes. Good for her. Chucky is in Holes. He plays X-Ray. And also...
Good movie, good book.
Monkey Business. And Heather, obviously Heather, she's in 2 movies we're going to be watching in the future. So
I don't know if I want you to tell me the names of those movies or not.
I don't think it's going to matter, just knowing an actress that's in it.
Okay.
So Cadet Kelly,
okay,
which I love, and Phantom of the Megaplex, which I also love.
All right.
So she's in 3 pretty good movies, I gotta say. We'll see, actually, upon rewatch. And the last one is some guy named VJ was in Quince. I don't know.
Yeah. Were any of them in Gilmore Girls? Does this pass the Alexis Bledel test?
No, I think this test sucks. I'm almost over it. We'll see if the next few movies there's any, but it's such a bummer.
All right, we'll give it like
always,
3.
It's
we'll
the same
give it
producer.
3 more movies.
It's always the same producer guy. That's it.
It had a strong start.
Real bummer. So I mean, we went over the predictions before. Like you saw the cover, so you guessed it exactly what this one's about.
Yeah.
Here's the next one.
I'm ready.
It's a very non-specific title, so you ready for this?
I'm ready. I said it. I'm ready.
The next movie is called Mom's Got a Date with a Vampire.
Okay. I'm going to guess that it's
Take your time. Think about it.
Some kids. I'm going to say a brother and a sister. And they're not their dad.
Okay.
Maybe their mom.
The kid's mom.
Yeah, the kid's mom.
Okay, yeah.
Maybe. Ooh. I'm going to go out on a limb here.
Okay. Like real far out on a limb?
Real far out.
Okay, go weird. Let's do this.
She's going to have a date with the vampire.
The kid's mom
is going to have a date with a vampire.
Oh my God.
I know.
That's just wacky. I mean, clearly that's not going to be what's going to happen.
I'm hoping for another Don't Look Under the Bed.
All right. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I don't know. That's a little too wacky for me, but whatever. I don't want to get into it. All right. Anything else you want to, tell our audience before we go?
Just a reminder to follow us on Instagram at Disney Channel Original Noobies. You can subscribe to this podcast so that you get it straight to wherever you subscribe to podcasts as soon as a new episode is out. Send us puppy pictures and kitten pictures at our email. That's probably the most important.
Oh, the email. I should probably say what the email is.
Yeah, please say what the email is.
D, like Disney. C, like channel. O, like original. Noobies, NOOBIES, @gmail.com.
It's a pretty sweet email, I must say.
I made it up myself. Thank God it was available.
And that's it. How about you? Anything to add?
I don't think so. I'm still gloating over Yo-Yo Ma, so we'll leave on a good note.
I'm gonna go out and buy some sea pups.
Enjoy. Bye-bye.